But when you ask someone a question, it ought to be a single question. You don't ask them multiple choice. All right, what about A, B, C, and D? They'll answer A if they want, or D if they want, or none. So one subject, one question, like the old torpedoman in World War II, hot, straight, and true. Don't be rude, but on the other hand, make it pointed to the extent that they should be able to answer it, or, if they don't want to and won't, people watching or reading will understand that they didn't answer it. If you say to a candidate, tell me, what do you think about the war? Well, they think anything they want. But if you give them a direct question, how would you bring our involvement in Iraq to an end, and on what timetable? Then they either have to try to answer it or they have no answer. I think, you and I are political reporters. I don't know how to question people in the art world or Hollywood. I've tried a couple of times. But politicians who run for office, I think they're good people for the most part. I subscribe to the Civics 101 thing. That we need good people to go out and offer themselves and go through the process. But they do it and understand that their privacy is pretty much shredded. If they run for the presidency in particular, you know it's the glass ball, and you know people are interested in everything. And you can't say, well, from 9 to 5, I think you have a right to know what's going on. After that, it's no one's business. Wrong! Everyone's business, and they have to understand those questions when they do.
A lot of these kids would be surprised to hear Sam Donaldson saying you have to be civil. Why is it important to be civil?
Well, it's important to be civil for a number of reasons. First of all, it's the right thing to do. Secondly, I know more about how television audience responds and our readership. But I learned the hard way a number of times over a number of years that if you go for the junket and you push it too hard, your sympathy is with the person that is, according to the audience, being attacked. I once did a live interview with a guy named David Duke. David Duke was a well-known racist in the South. He made no bones of his views. He went around in Nazi swastika uniform as a man and all of that. Well, I had the goods on him. I'd done my homework. And so I started out and said, well, why did you admire Dr. Mengele? Dr. Mengele was the Auschwitz doctor, the doctor, the angel of death. He got off the freight car, Jews. If you waved to the left, you died immediately. If you waved to the right, you lived a little longer. He said, why do you admire Dr. Mengele? Well, he said, I never admired him. I had the goods on him. I mean, I pressed him. When he left that, I am told that someone had asked him at the door, and he was downcast and said, I've been ruined. I mean, they got me. Wrong. In those days, we had switchboards still. Our switchboard lit up with people who said, I don't agree with David Duke, but Donaldson didn't give him a chance to answer. Donaldson was not fair to him. I learned one reason you don't want to be rude is you don't want to let an audience's perception that somehow you're a ravenous dog get in the way of listening to an answer that's either there or not there. But you should be direct, and you should be, while being courteous, you should not be pandering and just pull your forelock. A presidential press conference is not a social event. I must tell you, as one of these old people, when I see people get up and, thank you, sir, nice to see you, sir, and all of that. Again, you be polite, but it's a business event. The president comes out to do business, and reporters ought to be there to do business. It is not a social gathering. People need to chit-chat and what have you. Maybe that's the new way of doing it, and people will do it the way they want to do it, new generation. But what I was doing, you conduct business, and you try to get answers to public questions.